Good morning and welcome. It's Good Morning Anambra Tuesday episode. Today is the 20th day of July 2022 and we are so delighted to be counted amongst the living. My name is Nonya Nwokoye, welcoming you to the show today. We begin with the press review. All right, you're welcome to the program, The Press Review. On The Press Review, as we do it here, we take a look at some of our national dailies and, of course, stories making the headlines on ABS website. In the studio this morning, I have two gentlemen in the analysis of papers this morning, Paulson Okeke and Barrister Ifechukwu Dan Jacobs. Good to have you in the studio, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, the presenter.
Welcome, viewers.
Viewers are welcome.
Please.
All right, let's begin with looking at stories making the headlines on ABS website. Anambra State Government plans health summit September this year. Anambra State Government cautions stakeholders in oil sector against hike in pump price of petrol. Anambra Transport Commissioner Igwebike urges Anambra to embrace new tax reform. Soludo's youth economic plan will equip youths with skills. Omenoga speaking, I think that's Nelson Omenoga. He was actually here yesterday to talk about how to the Anambra State plans to, take away the youth from youth restiveness and so on and so forth. So, what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's a very good step because the government has always been thinking about the youths. And any government that does not take the youths into cognizance in its developmental policies is bound to fail, because it is always said that the youth is the leaders of tomorrow. They are the bedrock of any society, so you have to plan them. When you are planning them, you have to think about programs and policies that will make them to contribute in a very crucial way to the development of the state, of the society. So in these days we are in, there are no jobs. So government has to introduce policies that will make the youth to acquire skills. There's no longer white-collar job like it is always said. So when it is said that youth should acquire skills, it is not just allowing them to roam the street, but let them engage to learn one thing or the other so that they can be on themselves. They can create jobs where none exist. Not only creating jobs, they can train their peers as well, and so on. So that's why it is important that when Anambra State government is enunciating policies that will help the youth engage in vocational training, in skill acquisition and all whatnot, it is very commendable.
Advices will also reduce.
No, of course it will take them off the streets, because when they are busy somewhere, today they no longer learn furniture, they no longer learn mechanics, no youth engages in all those things because they look at all these things as things for school dropouts and so on. Where our youth always want to go is to go into Yahoo and so on, while there are many jobs that they could learn and acquire more skills.
All right. Anambra Transport Commissioner Igwebike urges Anambra to embrace new tax reform. We know last week there's this protest in Oka where keke drivers and shuttle buses downed their tools and blocked roads in protest of the new tax regime. And now they are being encouraged to embrace it. That means there's no going back on the tax issue in Anambra State. So I don't know, because some people were actually calculating what they used to pay before. Sometimes when you pay money, maybe in peanuts, maybe one naira, you may not know that is as huge as what the government has brought out recently for people to begin to pay.
Well, actually, the government is doing their best to see what they can do to raise revenue generation of the state. Because the era of depending on oil income is no longer possible. And two, this present administration want to do everything within their power to reorganize the ways of collecting of our taxes, to avoid, to eliminate tax in the system. And actually, from the assessment, the operators thought that that amount given to them is too high. I mean, keke riders. But indeed, when you check their daily pays and calculate in a month, it's more than that amount.
There is this other argument they are raising, or people are actually concerned about, that after that one payment, that government should ensure that no other fee or money is collected from them. That these people there are still people that are by the side, collecting money from them.
You know that change is not easy, but there's need for government to do something to bring a positive change. But it's not easy to move from old system to new system. Actually, what government intend that after payment of this tax now, no other fees. And once they get everybody in the system, they now face those tax and face them out of the system. And they ensure that the revenue comes into the government port directly and nobody disturb them. Once you pay, you are not going to pay any other thing. You go into the park and drop and go your way.
All right. You want to chip in something on that?
Yeah, you see, what Anambra State government is doing is not out of place, if one will say. Because if check it, it is 1,000 naira a day. Like, for instance, excuse me. For instance, like what I saw for shuttle bus drivers is 25,000 naira per month. If you divide it, it is 1,000 naira per day, 1,000 naira per day. I don't think it is so much. Because maybe because it is huge, they calculated it to be paid once. That's why it appears to be very big. But when you look at the payment itself, 1,000 naira per day, on the road, they spend more than that on daily basis. They pay union, they pay this, they pay that. Now government say, pay us this money. There is need to pay this money into government coffers because there's always that saying that Anambra government's money is on the hands of individuals.
All right, let's
collectors.
A caller here. Hello, good morning. Okay, if you want to join us, when you call, just let us know your name and where you are calling from, and you go straight to the point for want of time. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, because what the government is now doing is let us collect our money by ourselves. Let collectors don't collect for us again. Because in the years past, it is people collect money for government to go and pay to government. Now somebody can collect 10 naira and go and give government one naira and keeps 9 naira.
All right, let's see
for
who's
himself.
here. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, let's quickly move to the first paper. Hello, is anybody here? All right, the first paper for review, the Daily Sun newspaper now. Let's see stories on the Daily Sun. 2023, CAN directs Christians on candidates to reject, with rider says every Nigerian has right to individual religion. Protest as gunmen kill 7 wedding guests in Imo. We tried that the headsman kidnapped 15 in Enugu. Aftermath of Kuje prison attack, Kiari others seek fresh bail. Police arrest another escapee. NDLEA opens case. US-UK hail Oshinguba election as more Nigerians greet Governor-elect Adeleke. Strike, federal government asks to meet resume negotiations. 52 northern groups to join NLC's planned protests. Oyo Assembly impeaches Deputy Governor, replacement sworn in. And tears as Nollywood loses top actresses, Awojobi and Ame. Okay, and 3 killed as SUV hits newspapers stand in Delta. All right, let's look at that. Okay, before we actually go into the paper, this person has been here. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, let's look at the banner headline in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. CAN direct Christians on candidates to reject. Says every Nigerian has rights to individual religion. All right.
Yeah, CAN is in order. Every Nigerian is entitled to his religious belief. There's no doubt about that. And that is the secularity of our nation. But what the sentiment about Muslim ticket is just because of what is happening in our society, in our country today. In June 1993, Mashood Abiola and Babagana Kingibe flied Muslim tickets. And Nigerians didn't call down the heavens. And they won. Okay. It was, yeah.
Let's see who's here. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good morning. Please, if you want to be part of what we are doing here, when you call, move away from your TV set or you bring down the volume before you talk to us. All right?
So, Abiola Kingibe won that election then, or supposedly won the election then, because what was happening in the country then is not happening today. There are these palpable fears.
There was much tolerance then.
Yeah. There was much tolerance, religious tolerance then. But today, there is this palpable fears of Islamization. It is rife everywhere. Because the way religious sentiment has come up in playing 4 roles in our society, in our country, has become so worrisome that anybody will say we are not comfortable. But in as much as we give people their religious rights and so on, we should still believe that Muslim ticket is still an anathema to our political development. What it shows that is that we are very, very insensitive to the hues and cries of other religious beliefs. That is simple. So that is why people should consider it. Not that we don't have our religious beliefs and we cannot do it, but we should bring certain things into consideration when playing politics and so on. And we should respect people for that.
All right, the new national light. Okay, you want to say something?
Well, actually, issue of religion is enshrined in our constitution. Freedom of religion.
Okay, freedom of religion.
Yeah, it's one of fundamental rights every citizen has to enjoy. You should not force any person, for any reason, to believe in your own religion The Constitution made it clear in Chapter 4 of our Constitution, fundamental right provision. So the issue they can raise, they have right to propagate their own religion.
All right, the New National Star is the next in a lineup. Let's see stories on the New National Star. Security operatives killed 1,360, rendered 51,000 homeless in Southeast. That's Rights Group talking. INEC plans fresh talks with CBN over storage of electoral materials. Osun Poll hoodlums vandalize Igbo traders' shops in Oshobo. NDLEA opens case against Abakiari. Suspected herdsmen kidnapped 15 farmers in Enugu village. APC lacks qualities to manage Nigeria's diversity. Kwankwaso speaking says Nigeria bleeding as NNPP unveils running mate. Anambra new tax regime not to hurt anybody, says Soludo. And okay, that's just about done. Okay, you want
the
to?
issue of vandalizing or looting of Igbo shops in Oshobo. I don't know why Igbos are being hunted everywhere in every part of this country. What is the offense of Igbo for being there? We haven't, in the lookout of things, if you check every other tribe in Nigeria, Igbos are the people that are trying to unite this country.
And even in the, did we hear any case of violence in that election that was conducted?
Maybe
so
they felt they voted against their interests. But we are Nigerians. You are free to vote for any of the candidates of your choice anywhere you are in any election. Like last time in Lagos, many Igbos were stopped not to vote because they know that they will vote against the candidates of their choice. This issue of persecuting Igbos in Nigeria should stop. They should stop that nonsense. We are the only people that are everywhere. We are the people that are actually building the nation Nigeria, uniting Nigeria. Others are interested in their own region, but we are everywhere. We are developers, and they should encourage us to do so. And stop doing nonsense to us.
Okay, the Punch newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories making the headlines on the Punch. Osun governorship poll. Adeleke's camp worries over litigation, whose PDP faction. And all aggrieved members constitute danger. We are talking to Bayemi, PDP spokesman. I expect Oyetola to have congratulated me, concede defeat, says Governor-elect Adeleke. Osun governor's lawyers inspect election results, may head for court. Tinubu awaits governor. Okay, consumers pay 193 billion naira to this cause amid blackouts. That's report. Traders, buyers grown as food inflation hits 20.60%. NLC Des Police says protest notification unnecessary. Benin Disco challenges PBF, plans UK legal action. FGUN to identify terrorist criminals at airport. Aeros suspends operation over skyrocketing Jet A1 price and others. And in front of that paper is shanties, shops raised as fire got Lagos sawmill. And you can imagine the kind of fire that will be there, knowing that that place is a sawmill, where a sawmill is where they sell woods, right? Yeah. Okay, and that's a very pathetic one there. ASU meets August 1, strike enters 155th day. Ogun residents flee homes. They cry government neglect. Lagos court jails businessman 60 years for fraud. Power supply to drop again. TCN alerts Nigerians. Fan mourns the deaths of Nollywood actresses Ame and Onaiga. Oyo gets new deputy governor. Olaniya faults impeachment. All right, let's go with you. What do you have to say? What story are you looking at?
You were looking at the major banner, that's the election. The election, yeah. You see, for anybody who's been following political happenings, you see that Osun election spring surprises.
All right, hold it there. Let's welcome this person. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and your location, please.
Emmanuel, calling from Katsina State.
You're welcome, Emmanuel.
I want to contribute on the vandalization of people.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
I think it's a time that people need to rise up and speak for their people. I remember former governor of Imo State, Sam Bago, he fought for the abandoned property of people in River State. And in general support, things continue to happen like this and nobody is talking. Enough is enough. Why must it be every time Igbo? Anywhere it happens, Igbo people. Are we slaves in this country? It's time that our people, there are people that are leading us. If something happens like this and they didn't say anything, people continue to do it.
All right. All right, thank you.
Suffering, gathering their money, they will just vandalize it overnight. It's not fair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Point noted. Thank you, Emmanuel, for that concern. All right, let's move on. You're talking about the just concluded election.
You see, PDP, Adeleke should be worried because one, the election was perceived to be free and fair and was perceived to be credible enough. So for the governor,
Opponents,
the sitting governor, not to have accepted defeat is worrisome. Worrisome in the sense that this is one election INEC has conducted and they are beating their chest. It was, people went out, voted. There was no cases of any disturbances here and there. No ballot paper snatching, no this, no that. So why wouldn't Oyetola concede defeat? So what it shows is that he has not accepted that he lost.
The outcome.
You understand? So that's why there's that apprehension in Adeleke's camp. And now the governor-elect is wooing some other members of the party to rally around him. Because PDP is fractured, everybody knows. It's one house that is so discordant. They are now speaking in different tones, and they have not shown any preparedness to win the 2023 general election. Adeleke, I believe, won that election because he's Adeleke. He's a man like the last election, he was coasting home to victory when INEC threw spanner in the way by saying there's a rerun.
All right, let's see who is here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, your name and your location.
Thank you for your analysis.
Thank you. You're welcome, Emeka. Could you move away from your TV set?
In terms of this election victory of
Please bring down the volume of your TV set, please.
The Adeleke is just Oyetola is just a fraud leader. Are you with me?
All right, go ahead.
So, for me, there's nothing for the man to go in the court for because last election, he used Anambra to turn down thing at the last minute. This time around, he has also shown the credibility that people loved him. People voted for him for who he is. So for me, APC thinking of going to court, it's just the same style of what they did last time they want to protect, and I don't think he can stand. I think he should just go ahead and enjoy his victory. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Emeka, for that your contribution.
Personally, from analysis of that election, Adeleke should not lose sleep over the mood of the present governor that we soon hand over to him. He won that election because
the president's statement is like the president just put stamp on the victory.
No,
definitely
He commented and said that it should not be questioned.
Well, I believe that the old politicians have not actually embraced the new change in our electoral system.
Because we are always bad losers.
Because now the beavers
Mm-hmm.
introduced by INEC is a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now, many of them, this is a sign of what is going to happen in 2023.
Exactly.
Many old politicians will lose their position because people don't want them again. They have been imposing themselves on the people. Now people are going to vote for you because of who you are, not because of party. Don't be surprised that eventually by the grace
in other words, change is permanent.
No, this 2023 election is going to be a revolution.
All right, let's see who is here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Your name and your location, please.
I'm coming from Kaduna. I'm Kelvin.
Kelvin, you're welcome.
Yes. What happened in Osun State? It will happen at the federal level in 2023. It's just a sign that people are no longer interested in APC. For me, Labour Party will win 2023. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay. So as I was saying, the election was won and lost. But the important thing is for the loser to accept.
To accept that he
That
lost.
is one thing.
All right, let's see. Please, if you want to be part of this, I keep saying it, bring down the volume of your television set so we can get to communicate here effectively. There's a holdback when you leave your television on. All right, go ahead.
It's, because we cannot continue to cry whenever we lose the election and begin to castigate the process. That is one bad thing about us in this country. Until we begin to say, yeah, I have lost, and you accept it with equanimity.
All right,
And you go home and rest, other than going to challenge the process and so on. What if you had won? Or must you be winning at every time? That is one thing.
All right, the Nation newspaper now. Let's see stories on the Nation newspaper. 100% pay rise likely for striking varsity teachers. With the rider there, Buhari may lead talks. Prolonged class boycotts dangerous to youth future. NUC cautions. We also have gunmen killed soldier, 9 others in Plateau, Imo, Nigeria. Netherlands signed pact on food security. Tinubu to present Shetima tomorrow. Makinde inaugurates Lawal as deputy. Federal government silent as marketers hike petrol pump price. And okay, let's look at the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper. The issue of this killing, because we saw it in the other papers. Now the gunmen kill soldier, 9 others in Plateau and in Imo State. Dan Jacobs?
That is the level of insecurity in the country. Since the inception of this present administration, the security of this nation is nothing to write home about. They have been killing from one place to another, almost all over the country. One report of killing there, here and there, for no just cause. And you know that any government that actually wants to perform, first and foremost, will secure life and properties of its people. Any other development will come to rest. Without security, you are doing nothing. You are doing nothing, virtually nothing. So this killing must stop. Government should do something to stop it. And we don't value lives again in this country. We keep people like chicken. And before you know it, nobody even cares to investigate. Have you seen anybody being prosecuted for killing? No, nobody. Because the security situation is almost zero. Something must be done about that.
All right, the Nigerian Tribune now. Let's see stories on the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government in frantic moves to end ASU strike, with riders there holds meeting with vice chancellors, others. Aviation union threatens to shut down airports. Ocean Guba fallout, PDP, APC, bandy words over Adeleke. And we have AFDB, SEC signed $460,000 pact to deploy surveillance system in capital market. We can see in front of that paper, I think that's a fire truck fighting the fire that gutted that sawmill shop in Lagos. Okay, we can also see troops kill 5 terrorists, recover weapons in Benue, Katsina. Why Nigeria must diversify from crude oil exports, NEP's boss talking. Zamfara government suspends emir over to banning of bandits as title holder. I think we need to look at this story because sometimes there are some stories you hear in this nation you think is a movie or is happening in the movie industry, movie world.
Yeah, on Saturday when I watched the turban in Zamfara, the emir of Safe turbaned the leader of the bandits.
Land has been sanctioned.
The government sanctioned it. I was like, what's happening in Zamfara? So because turbaning the leader of the bandits means sanctioning them.
Okay,
you are now giving them approval to continue.
It doesn't mean they're going to take over there are stories of some places where they've hoisted their flags.
I wouldn't know the motive because the emir himself from the statement that came from his palace said that it was to appease them.
Really?
But what kind of appeasement are you giving to the leader of the bandits that had confronted the government and been killing soldiers, killing your people, and you want to appease him? To appease him for what?
Oh God.
So when this information came, and I was, what's going to happen? And this man, actually the man was turbaned, and people were celebrating. They came there, they were sharing mineral, they were sharing bread and sharing everything. I mean the bandits themselves. And they were doing all this with impunity. And no policeman, no security agencies were there. And they were not arresting anybody. I said, this country. And that goes to say, so that this country is full of paradoxes. Honestly speaking, how could such a man that has confronted the government and been killing people here and there, taking ransoms here and there and so on, be turbaned, rewarded for doing so? Nigeria is indeed a paradox.
In a society, such a thing will never happen. To show the level of madness in leadership of this country.
Let's see who is here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Could you please move away from your TV set?
I'm calling from Benue State.
Your name?
My name is Ochemi Thomas.
Ochemi, you're welcome. Go ahead and talk to us.
Yeah. You see, what is happening in Nigeria today is not something to write home about. Now, the installation of the chieftaincy title in Zamfara has justified why some sections of the country is against the Muslim ticket. You see, what happened in 1993 when K.O. Abiola was a Muslim and the running mate was a Muslim too. So what we are experiencing today, the level of insecurity we are experiencing now, wasn't what was happening that time. It has passed a level where Nigerians are being killed, villages and buildings are being ransacked and sent into exile. For the fact that...
Let's move on. The Guardian newspaper is so pathetic, and we appreciate your contribution so far. The Guardian newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see, stakeholders express cautious optimism as NNPC transits, with riders there explain how to tame 26.4 billion oil theft. OPEC report says Nigeria lost 703 billion naira worth of crude oil in February 2022. Crude stolen by vandals more than 65% of 2022 budget. And experts insist federal government on serious over ending oil theft. We can see queue in front of the paper. I think this is as a result of people waiting to buy petrol from petrol stations. Let's see who is here before we move on. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Your name and your location.
My name is Peter. I'm from Kaduna State.
Peter, you're welcome to the show. Go ahead and talk to us.
Yes. I'm talking about this very Muslim ticket.
All right, go ahead.
This Muslim ticket will not work in this very country because we are foolish. people are trying to tell us that all Nigerians are Muslims. We are living in the northern states where they are denying us Christians from anything that belongs to us. What of if they bring this Muslim together? That means there is no any Christian in this very country. So I am saying with a loud voice that Christians should vote their Christian candidate, while Muslims should vote their Muslim candidate. Then we will see who will win. We have been keeping quiet and unbecoming. So that is my own view.
Thank you very much for your contributions. Thank you. Now, gunmen abduct 9 persons in Katsina, attack troops in Niger. Nigeria on alert as Ghana records first outbreak of Marburg virus disease. INEC reviews storage of material with CBN as Ohaneze warns failed politicians. All right, I think we need to look at this issue of the outbreak of this virus in Ghana. I was actually saying it before now that once it gets to Ghana, Ghana is very close to Nigeria. Now we should be on the watch out. What's your take?
Yeah, it is a very sensitive issue, but it's left for our...
You know, according to report, they say there is no drug yet for it. Yeah. You know, and 2 people already dead, then a lot of people in quarantine.
Yeah, that's what I'm still saying. It is left to our those who are managing our health sector, the NCDC and other agencies, to put Nigeria on preventive measures. They should sensitize us on what is Marburg disease, Marburg virus, so that we know how to prevent it. Nigeria and Ghana is just like the nose and the mouth. Anybody traveling on the west coast, we know that anybody leaving Ghana, the next port of the destination is Nigeria. So there should be preventive measures. And it should be with immediate effect so that the next batch of Nigerians or travelers coming into Nigeria from Ghana or from the west coast should be on check. They should be quarantined so that we can prevent it from coming. We know how we manage our health situations here, so NCDC is always there. All right, they should take it up.
Let's take a look at this one before we move to the next paper. NNPC quietly approves petrol pump price hike to 179 naira per litre. And we saw earlier in one of the papers hike in prices of goods and services in our Nigeria. And with this hike, I don't know the impact it will have on the society generally. Dan Jacobs?
Well, Nigerians have been going through hardship, and the leadership of this country are insensitive over the sufferings of the citizens, and they have the affront to increase pump price without recourse to the economic situation in the country. It's quite unfortunate. We have oil in abundance, and we are still importing finished product of petroleum, crude oil. What happened to our refinery? From what the record so far, billions of dollars are spent in maintenance of existing refineries, but they are not doing anything. I wonder what is holding the federal government to liberalize oil sector, allow people that have the capacity to refine to come in.
All right, let's see who is here. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello,
Your name and your location. Biko gwana anyị afa gị na ebe isi akpọ. Afa gị na ebe isi akpọ anyị. Okay, no, Williams, ngwa gaa n'iru. Gaa n'iru.
you have to behind against the you have now to you do that and the one does the apple and the one. I'm going to program a work down into forty.
Oh, we lost Williams. You may call back, but let's go on. Okay.
The government of Nigeria should do something to liberalize oil industry. Allow people that have capacity to refine this crude oil local to come in. Let me tell you, the issue of oil should by now be removed from exclusive list. Put it in concurrent list. If state government can come in and refine, let them do so. We have already petroleum industry in Anambra State over the years. Up to now, it has not come on board. It has not been operational because of one issue or the other from the federal government. And Nigerians are suffering. Had even such a big investment from Anambra State government in oil sector is functioning, I don't think the southeastern Nigeria will be talking about we would having it even cheaper. Because Orient Petroleum, from analysis, the investment in that sector, in that company so far, they have come up to 90% to have in operation by now.
All right, for want of time, let's quickly look at these papers together, the Daily Independent, the Daily Trust, and of course the This Day newspaper. Beginning with the Daily Independent newspaper, we can see again regulatory hurdles hold back national carrier. It's wishful thinking, hoping for it now. Stakeholders talking. Aero shuts down after 63 years over economic crisis. Owes ground handling companies over 100 million naira. Like Wike and Atiku, El-Rufai angry with Tinubu over VP snub. Police snap Kuje prison escapee in Kaduna. NHIA needs 1.2 trillion naira for 83 million Nigerians in pro-poor health insurance. Nigeria's digital banking transactions to add $6 billion to GDP by 2026 report. Alleged cocaine deal, court begins trial of Abba Kyari, admits exhibits in evidence. Lawal replaces Olaniya as Oyo deputy governor. And quickly we move to the next paper, the Daily Trust newspaper now. Let's see, Boko Haram others ambush soldiers, attack 4 states in 6 hours. We tried as the CJTF chair, 4 members killed in Borno. Troops foil attack in Niger, 2 killed, 1 injured in Plateau. 7-year-old killed, 19 others abducted in FCT and Katsina. ASU strike, banks, aviation unions threaten to shut down operations. Terrorism, UN bodies, NCAA to upscale strict passenger profiling regime. Yobe flood, 4 dead as 11 communities relocate. Airlines bleed as Nigeria's oldest carrier, aero contractors, halts operation. We tried at the NCAA deepening surveillance to avoid undercutting. Ebubago kills 7 wedding guests, injures 5 in Imo. Olaniya impeached. Lawal takes oath as new Oyo deputy governor. Woman sues ex-husband for marrying her best friend. And the last paper, but not the least, the This Day newspaper. Let's see stories on This Day newspaper. Winners and losers, how they shaped Osun governorship poll. You can see their faces in front of the paper there. That's on This Day newspaper. 2023, INEC in talks with CBN over election materials storage, says Okoye. We also have 7 takeaways from Osun gubernatorial election. Tinubu Adeboye meet over Muslim ticket. Okay, NNPC transition group CFO expected to intensify internal checks control. All right, a lot of stories in front of those papers. Let's see the issue of Ebubago killing 7 wedding guests and injuring 5 in Imo. Could that be a mistake or something?
I should believe it's a mistake. Because Ebubago is just like what Igbo say, Dibi edu teluko ochoba mo. Oman opposite na Dibi ano mo ochoba Dibi chubazia Dibi. So what am I saying is that for a Bubago to kill 7 guests, it could be a mistake if that story is true. Because you know what is always in the papers, if you verify now, it may be the reverse. But it's quite unfortunate, it's very, very sad. It shows that the Bubago is not doing what they are called out to do. The Bubago was established by Eastern governors of the East rather, as a security